Porter, that last defensive play, the Waldo strip, looked like there was a lot going on, maybe trying to foul, a lot going on, but he ends up getting the steal. Just what happened on that possession, and then also his effort there to get the steal?
Yeah, so, down the stretch, we have that philosophy of fouling, and he just took off when you couldn't catch him. And then when he got inside at three, we knew a three beat us. And Waldo made a nice poke and just got it, and got a big stop. And so, I think, Javion at the end of the game, those free throws, it's really, doing good, because we left a lot of points on the board with our free throws. We had to go to switching 1 through 5 a handful in the last 4 or 5 minutes, and so that was part of it too.
We go Bob and James.
I'm gonna bounce off of that. Javion, offensive game was kind of rough for him, but what about those 4 free throws? What about him wanting that ball in the final?
That's what makes him special. Like he definitely wanted me to watch. We ran that out of bounds. Everyone calls it football, where we line on the baseline and we just start taking off because it's hard to match. And Javion got it, and then he just took off, and then there was another 3 or 4 seconds off the clock. I mean, he wanted it. He wasn't going to, give that up, and I love that about him. He wants that no matter what at the end of the game.
James.
Porter, this game wasn't called in your direction necessarily. So I'm trying to.
Can you say that again?
I can't. I don't want you to get fined or anything. But
thank you.
But to keep your team in it and your team staying in it, even though things aren't going for you, and you win the game at the end. What does it say about tonight's game and how your team played?
Well, what I kind of finally huddled them off after when Sam got one from the bench waving his towel. I just called us together. I said, "You guys, we're going to overcome. We got to overcome adversity. Stop thinking about all that's happening." And I was having to listen to myself too, my own advice, and just say, let's just from this point, let's let the story be we're overcoming adversity, not let the story be, man, these are it's just crazy circumstances going on. And I'll say this, I should have said at the beginning, I didn't expect anything less from Oklahoma State playing their tails off, physical, high energy, played unbelievably hard, and I didn't expect anything else from Oklahoma State.
Well, Tom and Ryan.
Porter, you talked about going on the 1-game win streaks and trying to stack these wins. Without looking too far ahead, but knowing what's ahead these next few weeks, how big was it to come out of this home?
It's every game we're trying to stack wins. You're trying to stack wins. You're trying to stay in the hunt for a championship. I still think we're, I think 2 games behind. I don't even know who won the Houston-Cincinnati game. Houston won? Okay. So, I mean, our goals are still very high with 7 league games left. And you got to stack wins. You got to go 1-game win streaks. But this was big to put it in the column now, being taking care of this here. And we know what's ahead. But I don't talk to the guys about what's ahead. I mean, all we talk about is the one right in front of us, trying to go on that 1-game win streak, right, whatever that is right there in front of us.
Go ahead, Brian.
You mentioned a couple of times throughout the year how much more veteran you guys are this year. Being able to maintain the physicality after that kind of huddle you talked about while still playing through everything, is that that's where that kind of shows up of being able to continue to bring that without?
I thought Latrey made some really good plays. I really feel, I went and hugged Toby's 3 kids. They were sitting right there on the table, and I said, Trey's 3 that bounced up and then bounced in. I think Toby went like that, pushing it in, because it was right in front of where he sits. And but I thought Latrey and Waldo continued to make some key plays. And then I just told the team, and the guys were so happy for Luke Norweather. It's very hard to not play and all of a sudden to get in this atmosphere. So in 10 minutes, he had 5 points, he had 3 assists, and he drew 3 fouls. So what a good 10 minutes. And that is a great lesson of keeping your mind right, staying with it. And man, he was, and he had 2 other ones that were just in and out. I mean, I thought he was loud on defense. He didn't look scared in the moment, and that's a credit to him that to stay ready.
TJ.
Mentioned staying ready, the biggest play of the game you hit on earlier, Latrey's 3, rattling in. Talk about just maybe him being ready for that moment, the balance that you guys show, and that's the guy who ends up getting that shot.
Yeah, I mean, even like the end of the half, what a veteran, we got to stop with 7 seconds left, and Waldo got it, escape dribble, 2 dribbles up the sideline for a big 3. That's just, those are really good momentum turners at there, but I think, a lot of guys, even Los though, here's the thing with Milos, his voice in the huddles and coming out of the huddles was elite. So you might not look at this and say, you know, no one's even asked me about Los, but coming out of the huddles, you heard his voice every single time. Every time I saw the guys walking on the court, he was like that. And it's so important for teams to look at somebody and be like, we're winning this. We're winning this. And I thought they looked at a couple of the guys, they felt that.
Barry, then Joe.
Yeah, Porter, they got up 56-52 down the stretch, and I think they went almost 4 minutes without scoring, and I thought that was the biggest stretch of the game. What'd you do in those 4 minutes to make sure they didn't spurt away?
You know what, we were trying just to continue to play possession by possession. And when Javon Small, we switched one time, and he went back to his right hand and got to the rim. I thought he was really a load to guard in the second half. They get to the foul line. We know that's a strength of theirs. And then it was crazy. The bonus happened so fast with all the technicals because those count against your thing. And but I thought Latrey came up with a great rebound. Waldo came up with a great rebound, and that was stretching. But we did go to switching to some 1 through 5. They went small with Daly, and then we were going small with Jalen Moore at the 5. So I got to look back if that's the stretch you're talking about. But I thought they, Javon. I said it before. I think he's one of the premier guards in this league. He's a tough to handle. And but I thought we played better physically without fouling down the stretch too, because it just seemed they were going to the foul line. And they do. I think they're one in the league at getting to the foul line too. So it's a strength of theirs.
Joe.
Porter, after the Texas loss here, you said you were upset that you guys didn't get a win for a crowd, which was really good that night. Crowd was good again tonight. OSU's had the upper hand in the series the last few years. Does it mean something extra to get a win in Bedlam in front of this crowd today?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to say if anything different, but absolutely. I thought the crowd had tremendous energy. They were in it the whole time. It's what you vision. You look around, it was completely filled. And to have them walking away with the win, I mean, it was. And it wasn't the prettiest thing. It wasn't. I mean, all the different things, just how it went down, we were up 7, and all of a sudden, they get a technical 2 free throws. We foul a 3-point shooter, and then John gets a foul on a ball screen. Boom, that's 7 free throws. Just like that, all of a sudden you're going, so there were so many ebbs and flows, and the crowd just stayed high energy. So yeah, we definitely, it means a lot to them. And for us, we still have some huge home games, and they make a difference.
Blue center middle.
With that said, if it were up to you, would there be a Bedlam in Lloyd Noble next year?
I said this before this thing. Mike and I have talked about it, and I don't think either one of us are opposed to it. I mean, it's great for the state. It's great for the teams. Just got to figure out the timing of it, like with our schedules in advance. So I would assume, between Mike and I, we have no. I'm not opposed to it. Not opposed to it. Just got to figure out if it starts up next year or what it is, or if it's at a neutral site, or you're going back and forth at your home court. So you just got to figure all that out. But it's great for this state.
Can we go back left? No, go ahead, back left. Yep.
Can you dive a little bit deeper into the atmosphere and the overall emotion of the night, and can you tell us how your team responded to that?
So I thought it kept our guys believing through adversity, because there was some adversity. I mean, you can't plan. There's nothing I can do to plan that Sam Godwin would foul out from the bench. I've been doing this 33 years. I don't think I sat there before the game. If Sam fouls out from the bench, this is what I'm going to do. So it's just crazy. So, but I think the atmosphere kept our guys believing, kept our guys in there, and the emotion of the students. Man, when I went over by the students, I felt like one of those old Gumby dolls. I was just getting pulled. I think that was cool. They were emotional. You could just feel the emotion with it when we walked down by the student section after the game.
I'm going to go Clay, then TJ.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, Barry, that don't really know the Gumby doll reference. There's a lot of the younger people in this room just said, what the hell did you just say?
Just a thought on McCollum. He hits the free throws. They're going to be bigger. Struggles continue shooting. Just how's he doing?
Great. He was so happy. He was so happy in there. And he's gonna continue to come out of it. And but man, down the stretch, that's what you love. There was no way he wanted that ball, and there was no way he was giving that thing up. It was really good to see how bad he wanted it.
We'll go to the back right. TJ, start us off.
You mentioned Godwin fouling out from the bench. You said something earlier, waving a towel. Is that what the tee was for?
I mean, they haven't. You got to ask them. Yeah. Yeah. They said he was waving the towel, and then from there on, I blocked it out.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to talk about Ortega. This season, he's been in foul trouble, and you're like, you're still going to play, and that's what he did, and he especially had those pretty good, pretty clutch free throws at the end as well. Just talk about how he still has to.
Great clutch free throws. He had 2 fouls, and I was telling him because, even the analytics show you to play him through, and I've evolved. I used to never play a guy. Get 2 fouls, I'm never playing. But I've evolved. I know. Because I want him to stay in it. And it backfired on me. I kept him in, and he got his 3rd foul on a 3-point shooter. But I was just trying to get him going, with some things. We were about to go down there, and it is what it is. He got in foul trouble, but even the analytics tell you if you get 3 fouls, he's still in the second half. But I love that he stayed in it, mentally to come down there and get those free throws.
What did he do to get attacked?
I would advise you don't comment.
Okay.
Any additional questions for Coach? Okay.
Don't you tell him, you tell us.
Thanks, guys.